glue too, I guess. I guess I'll get that too then. It's 1:30 right now. I could probably go get the part and be back by, I can be back by next Thursday, next week. You want me to go get the truck and bring it in here? What else do you need?
Can I use my system?
Oh, yeah. I mean, I wouldn't use this thing, but yeah, you could use the other. You have what, a couple bathrooms in here?
Grab those bags and we can back up to the truck.
Well, so are we gonna come back a different day or are we gonna call someone else out? Because that's 3 bags and just 2 guys. Today? Yo, what's up, man? Fresh, first day on the job. What's poppin'? Just passed that Bud Light Stockton.
Nice to meet you. Are those the only shoes you brought?
Yo, you like them? Y'all don't got AC?
Not out here.
That's sus, bro. What's up, baby? What's it do? Man, it's gonna be me and you out there in the streets, you know what I'm saying? Slanging and banging. You and me all day, every day. What?
Fresh air.
Bussin', bro. Man, what y'all got up in the fridge, dude? Oh, apple juice! You should get me on there, man, with a fit check. With the flat cap bill, rocking them Jordan 4s, right? With the Home Hero shirt. I've gone to shops where literally guys have pulled me aside and be like, man, I love all this stuff you're teaching, but if I do this, I'll be out till midnight. They're just gonna give me more calls. And it's heartbreaking. It's like, man, what's the real goal here? Like if I've got 12 tables in a restaurant and I can serve those 12 people and give them the best experience ever and I can be profitable. If I wanna make more money, I'm gonna add a 13th table. I'm not gonna add a 13th customer. Meaning I'm gonna increase my capacity. I'm not just gonna shove more people into my capacity. If my room fits 56 people and I wanna sell more tickets to my event, I either have to increase the capacity or hold separate events. I can't put 115 people into a room of 57 people.
They want a tankless and a softener installed. They don't have either, and they've already been approved for financing.
What's that got to do? So you want me to go out there and do that call?
Well, they also say they've been having trouble with their sewer line and been wanting to replace it for a while, but they can't find somebody who they like to do it, but they think they trust us.
I don't want to have to work super hard to get it though. You want me to repipe the house, put it in the tankless, softener. Did you say something about a sewer line?
That's what it looks like. I think we should go check it out, man.
No, bro, this is ridiculous. And is this commission?
Yeah, I already talked to the owner about it. He wants to actually double your commission on it because it's such a big job.
No. So you want me to go out there, you want me to run this call, it's a bunch of work and a bunch of money or whatever, but it's also a bunch of taxes, and you're gonna have people out there helping me, watch me, do what I do, and then you want me to get it done faster so I make even more money, and then I have to, take another call because now I'm done by Thursday or something?
What else are you gonna be doing instead here, Steve? This is the job, man.
You got any odor smells or anything like that on there? Like maybe like in a different, maybe just... Why does on-call suck? Well, look, here's the thing. Most companies that do on-call 24/7 after hours, they don't treat it the same way they do during normal hours. They have a full staff and they have a full support system if someone calls between 8 and 5. But then after hours, they don't have a CSR, they don't have a supply staff, they don't have a lot of other things, and they want to go out and charge the same rates to the customer, if not even more, because they're doing after hours work. If you want to charge more and do on-call, then provide more service after hours. If you can't provide at least the same service that you provide during the day after hours, then you shouldn't do it. Think of it like an emergency room. Not every doctor is open after hours, but emergency rooms have a full staff after hours. Be an emergency room or be a doctor. But you gotta pick one and make sure that whatever you pick, you can service to the full. When there's no plumbers to hire, there's still a lot of plumbers that don't work for you working in your city. You're just not known enough. And so everybody tries to be just known enough because you don't want to overspend your marketing. And he goes, well, what do you do with all the money you spend on leads that you can't get to? And I'm like, well, what do you do with all the money you don't make when you're slow? See how this goes both ways? So I would rather spend a couple extra thousand every month and waste it and be known and have leads and momentum and be moving forward and I can hire into than to have that day, just one day when I'm slow. Be a couple grand in revenue off of one truck that we don't get.
It's
It's that time again!
You've now entered the No Sale Zone. No Sale Zone. Where Chris Fresh,
the plumbing sales coach,
peels back the curtain of what sales really is. Buckle up. Buckle up. And get ready to learn how to increase ticket average by providing better service. And now, your host,
Ladies and gentlemen, please welcome
CF,
the plumbing sales coach.
What's up, everybody? Welcome back to another episode of The Fresh Approach. Tonight, we got a doozy for you. We're going to be doing something pretty cool. We're going to do a little self-discovery. We're going to figure out what our strengths and weaknesses are. And I've got a tool for you. At the end of the show, I'm going to be sharing a chatbot that I've built that you can use, that we use all throughout our community and within our program for you to be able to figure out kind of what your strengths and weaknesses are. More importantly, if you're an owner, you can plug your team's strengths and weaknesses in this and figure out where their blind spots are, where their gaps are, where you can help them get better. And if you're not an owner, you can use this for yourself. I'm all about self-discovery. I'm all about getting better. And so I want that for you. Tonight, we're going to be doing that. We're going to be talking about the personality profiles. What's up, Anytime Plumbing in the house? Mary Sperlin White. What up, TJ Jones? The man, the myth, the legend. If you guys go back to a few shows ago, we talked about TJ, what a killer average he has. I know for a fact TJ had a $5,000 day today. Last week he had about $14,000 or $15,000 week. My man, what's up? All right. Hey, really quick too, ManyChat is no longer allowing us to send out alerts to let you know the show is going live. So make sure that you're updated on our page Tuesdays and Thursdays right now at 8 p.m. The Thursdays time slot is not going to change. We may be shifting the show from Tuesdays to Mondays. More on that. Pay attention to our page. You'll be updated on that. If you're on YouTube, what's up? Welcome to the show. AJ Plumber in the house. What's up? Chris Koss, you said, what up? What up? Good to see you. Ready for a great show. My man, Brandon Graham. Brandon, I was just talking to a company in Austin today. Was just helping a company in Austin today. Oh, sorry, TJ. He said $16,000 a week last week. Great job. Let's get it. Electrical in the house. Electrical and plumbing. Good thing you threw plumbing on there, James. I'm just joking. You don't let the water and electrical touch, right? My boy, Fresh. I got the notification. You and 9 people. What's up, Larry? Good to see you on here. Tonight we're going to be breaking down our personality profiles. Now, a good friend of mine in the program, Ryan Stepp, says, hey, Chris, I like your show, but I can only make it about 10 minutes. Too many rabbit trails. I need you to stay on point. So if you're one of those people, tonight we're going to be staying on point. Tonight we got a lot to get through. My man, Joey, just so you know, bro, you double dip up on this show. You saw it right there. Ooh. 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 All right. My man, Joey. Love you, bro. I just do poop and water, James said. I don't know if you guys can see that because it's comment. I'm going to hide that comment. I don't know why they're hiding that. What's up, my man Andrew Cornwell in the house? Good to see you, brother. Killing it, as usual. All right, tonight we're talking about the vibe. I'm calling it the vibe because, look, there's this thing called personality profiles. There's the DISC assessment. There's the Myers-Briggs. There's the things that don't really make any sense. And as I'm studying personality types and I'm studying all this stuff, I'm realizing that really it's kind of like our style, right? Your personality is your style. And you think about more terminology and newer terminology, it's your vibe. Like, it's how you vibe. It's how you get down, so to speak. So tonight we're going to talk about personality profiles, and that's going to be the main topic tonight. What is it that's keeping you from being a killer? Well, it's this, your brain, it's yourself. So tonight's main topic is personality profiles. What's your vibe? What is your vibe? That's what it is. I said it like 5 times, hoping my producer would flash it up on the screen. He's in his own world right now. We've got it. There it is. Tonight's topic, personality profiles. What's your vibe? What's your vibe? There it is. Hey, sir, I've learned a lot from you since I started watching your content. Love to hear that. Hope you're making impact in the homes. That's what we're doing. That's why we do it. I got a journeyman card in carpentry. I was a carpenter when I was younger. And then I moved over to plumbing because I fell in love with the customer experience. I fell in love with what was going on with the customer. Big Daddy King in the house. What's up, King Rooter Plumbing? Kyle Ross says, what's up, GOAT? Hey, I appreciate that. Tonight we're going to be talking about personality profiles and what's your vibe. Let's get into this. There's really 4 personality profiles, and I'm going to kick it off with a bang. Let's get into the V. This is the Vibe Personality Profile Test. There's 4 letters. There's V-I-B-E, and we're going to dive into the first one. This is velocity. Now, this person, if you identify with this person, they move fast. They push decisions. The whole thing is about results. The whole thing is about results. In fact, this individual is outgoing and task-driven. I want you to think about it like this before we get into it to figure out who you are. If you're thinking about the vibe personality test, if you're thinking about where you fit into all this. First of all, if you're outgoing, if you're an outgoing individual, you're someone who, you grab the microphone, or you take charge, or you're the person that's telling everyone what to do, or you're the one making all the jokes, and you're the class clown, or something to that effect. Maybe you're not the class clown, maybe you're the jerk. It'll be one of the two. But you're an outgoing individual, you're a direct individual. You're either a V or an I. Okay, if you're reserved, if you're kind of like, yeah, I just sit back in the cut, I'll do what you need, I'll take the notes. If you're one of those kinds of people, you're reserved, you're a B or an E. So you're either a V or I if you're outgoing, or a B or E if you're reserved. And then the next little test is if you're relational or task-driven. For example, if you were in high school and you were putting up on a team in a project, were you the one telling everyone what to do, or are you the one making everyone laugh? Were you the one making sure that everything got done exactly right? Or were you the one keeping harmony on the team? In fact, were you the one that wanted to be the leader? If you were an outgoing person and you wanted to get the job done and you didn't care if feelings got hurt, as long as you got that thing done correctly, well, then you're task-driven. But if you're the leader that wants everyone to be involved the whole time, well, then you're the I type. So outgoing task is the V type person. Outgoing people is the I type person. And then you got those reserved in the same kind of way. Maybe you're just the one that wants to take notes and make sure everything's exactly right and done right. That's going to be that E type, reserved and task driven. And the B type is going to be that reserved and that people oriented person. Now, if you've ever done DISC personality profiles, the V is the D, the I is the I, the B is the S, and the C and the E are the same. So we're going to break those down. I'm going to give you this tool at the end of the show. You're going to be able to go on to ChatGPT. It's free. Click on the little chat bot. I'm going to give you the link. You'll be able to do an assessment for yourself. In fact, Tyler, why don't you pull up that video really quick? It'll kind of look like this right here. It'll basically be this right here. This is the little chat. You do start a vibe check. It's going to ask you questions. You'll go through and get like random questions. You'll notice the questions are not necessarily in order. There's question 1, 2, 9, 10. You bust out the answers. As you're answering those questions and you're giving those results, it starts to learn you. And as it starts to learn you, it's going to start spitting out results. And you're either going to be a V or an I or a B or an E. And if you take the whole 128 kind of assessment, the question assessment, it's really going to break it down for you, like what your secondaries are, what your backups are. And you can kind of see this as I did a little test thing here for you guys so you can see how it works. Now, you can go in deeper into this thing and start asking it questions, and I've already done that for you, and I'm going to give you guys some results, but you can learn who you are. In fact, if you're married, you can learn who you are. They can learn who they are, and then you can plug it in here and say, hey, why might we fight sometimes? Why might we argue sometimes? Let's plump them numbers up, he said. I love how Brandon gets on here. Brandon's doing like $45,000 jobs. It's not the same thing, bro. Stop comparing. What's up, Lisa? Miguel, my man. Anytime plumbing into house. Which one am I, Fresh? Oh, you know, dog. You know, Larry. You know. All right. VIBE. So let's break these down. You're either outgoing or reserved. You're a V or an I if you're outgoing. You're B or an E if you're reserved. And you're either task-driven. You'll run people over. And another way to say it, in fact, one of the original authors I ever heard teach this, that I was at a seminar, he goes, it's kind of like this. If there's 4 people in a vehicle and they pull up at a house on fire, the V's probably driving. They jump out and tell everyone else what to do. They run in the building and try to save people. The I's like, hope they got insurance. Making funny jokes that are inappropriate at the moment. The B is like, what do you need me to do? I'll do anything. You want me to, how can I help? The E's like, all right, they got a fire hydrant 15 feet away, pumping 3.8 gallons per minute. We got a 3-inch line. The house burns down before they do anything. House burns down before they do anything. The vibe is real, he said. Just a boy with a dream. Just a boy with a dream. Brandon's a killer. All right. Over here on Facebook or on YouTube, what's up? He said, just talked about this earlier in the van. Absolutely. Good, better, best, baby. He says he's talking about 3 options. Ready for the fresh content, AJ says. Proper plumbing in the house. Love vibe. It was so awesome seeing my results, Dorinda said. Yeah, Dorinda and Paul kind of test a lot of my chat bots out before anyone else gets them. Paul really does put the work in on him. I'm like, Paul, we're not running overtime tests here. Take it easy. All right, so if you're new and you're just catching on, we talk about service plumbing, but really we're talking about all things marketing, sales, plumbing, everything related to relationships and humans and everything like that. And tonight we're breaking down personality profiles, and we're using the word vibe. The first letter that we're talking about is V for velocity. Can you bring that tagline back up? So this is you if you're a V. Outgoing, task-driven. You make fast decisions. You move fast. You push decisions, and everything is about results. I don't know anyone like that. I don't personally know anyone like that myself. Some say I act like that. Yeah, I'm driven. And I'm unapologetic about it. I want to get things done. I want to make impact. But V's not my leading one, believe it or not. V's not my leading one. Let's get up here with the strengths and weaknesses. If you're a V, here's what your strengths and weaknesses are. Here's where you can really understand yourself. You move fast. You push decisions. You measure life by results. You create momentum. Because of that, you create momentum quickly. You're decisive and goal-focused. You're a force. Take ownership and drive outcomes. There ain't nothing you can't do. At least that's what you think. Removes obstacles and pushes for traction. Now, anytime you remove obstacles and push for traction, that also happens in demolition derby. It might look like that sometimes for people. Comfortable leading under pressure. I eat pressure for breakfast, right? Here's your weaknesses. You can come off as blunt or impatient. Allegedly. You may skip buy-in from others. Like, you don't need it. You're bought in. What else matters? You're the only thing on the earth. May underestimate details that cause rework. Hey, so we're going to have to break up 6 feet of concrete. All right, dude. So get the jackhammer. Can create tension without noticing it. That's what they are. They're tension. They're just walking tension. I'm going to start calling them knots, like a knot in your neck, creating tension. Yeah, who's a V? Tell me if you're a V. If you're like, you know a V or you're a V. If you're like, man, I work with this person, this is my boss. Don't say it's your boss. They might see this. My man, Josh Odom's in the house. What's up, brother? Chuck said he loved the vibe results. Yeah, it's a big deal. It's a big deal. You know, me and my wife put ourselves into the chat. And we were immediately it was crazy. We put ourselves in there, and I was like, I can't wait. This thing's going to finally, you know what I'm saying? How can she argue with these results when it tells her she's wrong? She's not going to be able to. So I was like, hey, let's just take the test. Let's see what happens. And like, hurry up. I'm like, here, why don't you answer them faster? Let's get to those results. The results, in fact, did not say that she was wrong. The results said, you were a jerk. That's what they said to me. Aqua Flush, David Simmons. I'm a V, Tyler says. Koss says he's an I. TJ says he's an I. Are you a V? All right. These are your strengths and weaknesses. And I'm going to tell you right now, we're going to play around this here in a few minutes. I'm going to plug a couple of results in here. I got my handy duty with Blues Clues. I got my handy duty notebook. Blues Clues. I don't know what's happening. All right. We're going to go with I now. Let's bring up I. Influence. The influencer. This person brings energy, wins people, turns ideas into momentum. V's love them. V's love these guys, but they also hate them. They're wordy. They say too much. They talk a lot. They think they're funny. They're not. No, they are. They're funny. And the cool thing about an I is, if they think they're funny, that's all that matters. They're funny. And if you don't laugh, they'll tell you the joke again. I'm a B, I'm a B, I'm a B. What happened to Chris P? Short test said, I need to do my full test, though. Yeah, it'll do that. It'll give you a quick answer, and then you got to take it a little bit further, and all of a sudden it's like, oh, I learned a little bit more about you. That was a secondary, and here's your primary. And they'll start breaking it down. It's when I give you the thing, you can take 8, 32, 64, and 128. So you can take the assessment, you can answer 8 questions, or you can answer 16 questions, or 32 questions. And the more you do, the more it'll tell you. It'll break it all down for you. Brandon's got the googly eyes. I don't know what that's about, but I see those googly eyes. JT says definitely an I. Okay, look. By the way, Blake over AJ Plums is saying, "What up, Blake?" to over on Facebook. So now I'm connecting people between platforms. I don't know, Mark Zuckerberg, if you owe me money or if I owe you money, but let's make it happen. Okay, I for influence. Here's our strengths and weaknesses. Chuck, you have no V. You're a B. I love you. I love you. Chuck's a BI. Chuck's a good human. Brings energy, wins people, turns ideas into momentum. Strength, builds rapport quickly. Can make a friend with a cardboard box. The guy Cost on here right now, Chris Cost, that's him. Can't go anywhere with him. Like the whole section of the stadium will know my name somehow. I'm like, oh yeah, it's cool. I walk through my own building and people are like, oh, you're Chris, fresh. And I'm like, okay. Yeah, the other guy that works there told me all about everything about you. Where's this test? I need ChatGPT. It's coming, baby. I'm going to give it to you. We're going to put the link in the comments at the end of the show so you guys can just click it. It takes you right to ChatGPT, opens up my chat bot. You're in there. You're in there like swimwear. Just what I said. That's just what it said. I hear you. We need to take that one together. Okay. Builds rapport quickly, persuades through connection. I mean, look, I'm an I. I teach identify, connect, engage. I don't think I'm persuading, but I'm definitely positioning myself as an expert and someone they can trust and someone that they can count on and someone they can talk to. And I'm not just a plumber with a paycheck. I'm actually a community member, a husband, a father. I like sports. I like stuff. I like things they like. I'm just like them. Creates enthusiasm and buy-in. Raises morale and engagement. Reads the room and adjusts socially. I will say just really quick. Raises morale and engagement, creates enthusiasm by reads the room and adjusts. If you're an IV, which is what I am, an IV, like I constantly need an IV, I'm telling you right now, that can go south on you so fast. You can read the room and you can adjust. It doesn't always adjust to the thing that's best for the room. You can raise morale and engagement, but you can also raise stress and displeasure. Here's the weaknesses. You can overpromise. You may avoid boring but necessary details. I mean, how many of you watch the show? Like, you only gave 2 of the points. What? You get it. May avoid boring but necessary details. Can get scattered under stress. May minimize risk or hard facts. Can oversell and underdeliver and unchecked. I would never. He said, you're giving me a lot to talk about, giving me amazing opportunities, and help me grow as a person. Look, I'm telling you, it must be the guy behind the curtain pulling the levers. Look, I'm telling you right now, the more you understand who you are, the better you can get. There's also things you can do in here to get yourself better once you identify your weaknesses. I've always thought you should know how weak you are. I've always thought you should know where you suck, not so you can dwell in it and find identity in it or value in it, but so you can fix it. It's just that simple. Just so you can fix it. Dorinda says, I'm a VI. That's true. That's true. There's something called we're going to get into these last 2 here, but there's something called an Enneagram, and I'm going to build another chat bot to do that test as well. And it's like these words they come up with, Enneagram. Everybody's like, oh, now I totally know what it is. I'm like, is that going to tell me if I have cancer? Like, no, it's a more of a personality assessment thing. But it breaks down stress, and when you're in stress, when you're in your core, when you're in your wing, meaning skill sets. Because we change, right? You're a VI, but maybe you're an IV in certain scenarios. Like, I'll tell you right now, if there's nobody leading in the room, I'm a V, through and through, core, all the way. If there's another leader in the room and they take charge, I'm a class clown. Like, I'm either going to take charge or distract the leader. I'm either going to be the leader or distract the leader. Joey's like, can I get a amen? Jarrett, what's up? I didn't get the notification. Yeah. Mini chat, man, they changed the rules. They changed the game on us, dog, since Thursday. We're just as shocked as you. Trust me, I wanted to notify you. Oh, And I already know it. Where's Trevor at? Subscribe. See, Trevor's not on here. You can get the notification. He would be telling everyone to subscribe by now. Okay, so VI, your outgoing people. They're influencers. They're, in fact, here, let's just really quick. Who are, this is some cool stuff. Who are some famous V or I personality types? Let's see what the world has to offer. Okay, here's some well-known figures. V's, fast and task focus. We're going to skip him because it's controversial these days. Steve Jobs, Mark Cuban, Margaret Thatcher. I people, Tony Robbins, Richard Branson. I'm filtering some of these names. Tony Robbins engages large audiences, creates momentum through inspiration, persuades through emotion and belief. Mark Cuban, direct communicator, competitive and performance focused, makes fast calls and backs them. It's funny, Mark Cuban is a V. If you ever watch Shark Tank and you want to start studying people, which, by the way, will help you out in the home, make the place a little bit more comfortable for the homeowner. But I used to notice that Mark Cuban, when he would do Shark Tank, one of the things I noticed is that if he got his notebook out, he was in. The second he closed it, he was out. It's just like this little pattern I picked up with him. And he's a V because there was no sense in taking notes if he wasn't going to make an offer. There's no point in taking notes if he's not going to have a further relationship with them. AJ says, always can grow. I agree. Be controversial, Fresh. He says, I'm learning I'm an IV just from your comments. Brandon, bro, I'm not a V. I feel like I'm more of like a B. Completely balanced, harmonious, sanctific. Like, I just want people, I don't really care if we get the stuff done. I don't really care if, I just want to make sure you feel good when we're doing it. I want you to feel peace and tranquility. Go ahead, Brandon. Say what you're going to, I know, here comes the comments. Like, that's not him at all, bro. That guy would never argue with me at 2 a.m. on the streets of Vegas about driving in fast cars. Tyler. From Texas. Oh, no, you are from Tyler. My son's Tyler, and then you're from Tyler, Texas. I get it. It confused me because it wasn't all caps. Oh, he said no, Cuban is a V. Oh, yeah, that's what I was saying, too. That's what I was saying. Brandon's not a V. Brandon's a VV. So there is no such thing as that, but he's a VV. And then his secondary is V, and his backup is V, and then the other one is V. He said, boy, at 5 a.m. in that hotel room. Well, we got back to the room at 3. I was asleep at 5 a.m. when all that when you and Joey had your guys' crazy stories. We got to cut this out here, guys. You guys are telling on me. I was asleep. I wasn't doing nothing. And just for the record, they weren't doing nothing either. But some crazy stuff went down that they witnessed. I didn't get to witness it. I heard about it. He is F for the freshest. Okay, let's get into these second ones. Okay, B is the next one, which if you're familiar with DISC, this would be similar to the S. This is balance. They keep things steady. They support the team. They're all about harmony. This is not me. I was joking earlier. I don't think I've got any of this in me. When I was younger, maybe. There is zero of this in me. I'm like looking for where is that at? People are like, man, I don't like controversy. I'm like, there's controversy? Where's it at? Let me go find it. I like it. Show it to me. Let me talk to it. Let me meet it. How many of you are like that? Jeff said, bro, remember that one time? Nah. Yeah, Brandon's a V. Strong personality. Yeah, that's an interesting, Josh. You say you're a BV. I've met you. I think you're a BE. I don't think you're a V. By the way, usually you're not. You're those are opposites. So if anyone's out there, think of it. Picture a circle, and in the top left-hand side, you got the V. Actually, forget a circle. Just like a cross. And in the top left one, you got a V. In the top right one, you got an I. Well, right below I is B, and right below V is E. And usually opposites attract. So V's and B's are usually opposite, and they usually attract. Usually marry your opposite. I's and E's are opposite, and they usually attract. He said, just confident in my passion. But Josh, you're definitely a very calculated individual. You're going to see that here in a minute. You are 100% a calculated individual, and you're very harmonious. So that's why I've got you in those. And you're reserved. You're not going to grab the microphone and take over. Mr. Potty in the house. My wife's a BE. That's right, and I'm an IV. So you can see like where the, which can be great if we're aware of our weaknesses. Can be terrible if we're only aware of our strengths. April says she married her opposite. Except for we're the same height. My pride, my ego, my V wouldn't allow me to be married to someone taller than me. I don't think my ego can handle it. I would shut down as a human. Okay. B, balanced. Let's put their strengths and weaknesses. Keep things steady, supports the team, protects harmony. Strengths, reliable and patient. Reliable and patient. Loyal and supportive. Creates stability under pressure. Smooths conflict and friction. Builds trust through consistency. Well, isn't it just kumbaya over there? Isn't it just all, yay, everything's roses and peaches? Life don't work that way. I'm kidding. It does for you. And you demand it. Jeff. Painfully, you're an I, my man. Big dreams all over the place. I love you, but you're an I. You're an influencer. You're an inspirational dude. And when you're in your sweet spot, man, when people are around you, you're just so much fun to be around. But you also can chase a squirrel through the parking lot, and we may not ever see you again. So that's the crazier part. It's like, dude, I was just talking to Jeff 2 seconds ago. He was telling me about this big major event. He said he was going to go do something real quick. Haven't heard from him in 10 years. He said, oh, Mary, you talked to Mary David about the coaching program? Yeah, Mary is definitely a B. Brandon said, crazy, I thought everyone was taller. I don't know. How do you block on here? Is there like a remove? Is it just like a button you push? How does it work? You just right click? Nobody likes you, bro. Weaknesses. Avoids conflict. They run from it. They hide from it. They're in the corner. Like, hey, you got to fire someone today. Okay, I quit. I thought we was homies, AJ. And why are you guys putting these up there? What's going on here? I thought this was a team event. They delay hard conversations. Okay, AJ's not a B. Jeff is not a B. Brandon's not a B. You guys are just ripping on me. Definitely a B, the good and the bad. Yeah, delays hard conversations, resist change, may over-accommodate to keep peace, can quietly disengage. You're like, I need to fire this person. And they come up to you in the hallway and they're like, I'm quitting. You're like, can I give you a raise? Can quietly disengage when we're overwhelmed. If my wife is mad at me, I can tell because she's hiding in the corner. I'm kidding. I'm like, where's April? She must be mad at me. Okay. Which is not it's not a bad thing when she's mad at me because then I'm like, come on, let's talk about it. And she's like, I don't want to talk to you right now. Okay. Let's get into the last one. I want to tie these together. I want to do some stuff with you guys really quick. So I want you guys to understand how this all works together, especially in the home. Exact. Raises the standard. Spots risk easily. This is the person that's probably an engineer when you go to their house. They're like, yeah, I took it all, the tankless apart. I removed the heat exchanger. I put it back on. I cleaned it up. I repolished the solenoid. You're like, what? You know, what do you do for a living? He's like, oh, I'm a technical nuclear whatever. I can't even think of any. I wanted to say like some big words. Like I was going to use big words on you guys, but I couldn't think of any. And so he's just an engineer. Tom says he's definitely not a B. Can't quit if you're fired. That's exactly, Brandon. If someone's like, I think I'm going to quit. And Brandon's like, not if I fire you first. And then they're like, but then they can file unemployment. Brandon's like, I don't care. I just want to make sure I fired them. Yeah, look, at the end of the day, understanding who you are is going to be a game changer. Can you put those strengths and weaknesses up for the E? Accurate and structured. Love it. Spots risk before problems happen. Absolutely. Raises quality of standards. 100%. Builds reliable systems, even if it takes them their whole life. Protects the business from costly mistakes and from revenue. I'm kidding. Let's stop. Weaknesses, you can overthink. You're probably still on V. You're still on V right now. You're like, am I a V? What's the name of this show? Where'd this guy come from? Can sound critical. May delay decisions waiting for certainty. Can micromanage to prevent errors. Can struggle with fast change. Josh, I think this is your secondary. I mean, quite honestly, Josh, this could be your primary, and then B and V are your secondaries. That's a possibility, too, for you. So I didn't, Blake, what did Blake say? Some things need to be pointed out to get better. It is what it is. Yeah, it is what it is. It is what it is. Okay, so what? Then I'll just get better at it. For real, if you can understand these. Yeah, 100%, man. I mean, like, so Joey is a V, but Joey is a VI. Joey's got a lot more compassion in his heart as a V than a Brandon, for example. All right, I'm done making fun of Brandon. I love Brandon. Honestly, Brandon's a better human than me in every area except for shooting a gun. I can prove it. He said, "No, we agree." He said, "No, we are." I mean, AJ. It ensures an amazing experience and proper education. It really does, because let's get into that. Let's kind of get in that. I'm gonna type it. Hold on, before I do that, famous people that are B and E. These are the famous people. Okay, here we go. All right. Keanu Reeves is a B. Calm, grounded presence, humble and steady, constantly described as kind and loyal. Jimmy Carter. Mr. Rogers. Oh, Mr. Rogers is a B. Princess Diana. Balanced leaders are often described as grounded, supportive, patient, and loyal. Let's keep this steady, people. E's. Bill Gates. Angela Merkel. Warren Buffett. So basically rich people. That's what I'm seeing on here. Is it Mary Curie? She's probably some famous scientist. I feel like an idiot right now. It says scientific precision, deep commitment to actually. I don't really know her. Warren Buffett, analytical and disciplined, patient, detail, aware investor. All right. Protects people and stability is a B. Protects quality and standards is an E. Okay, watch. Let's do this now. Let's find out. Consumers. All right, we're going to do this. We're going to do consumers listen for what when buying for each personality type. So this is what it's saying right here. This is what V's listen for. Here's what V's listen for. If you get this, man, if you get this. I'm going to give you a tip on how to identify these here in a minute. But, man, if you get this. All right, V's. Here's the fastest. This is what they're listening for. Here's the fastest way to solve this. This gets results now. Here's the clear outcome. We can handle this today. This prevents bigger problems tomorrow. Let's say I'm looking at a toilet that's got a fill valve issue, and the fill valve's failing, and I go like, hey, I got to shut water off to it. So I start going through all that. I get to the main, and all of a sudden I'm like, all right, I'm going to take water pressure because that's going to affect your warranty. He's going to be like, well, I want a warranty. Well, of course you do. Everyone does, right? So let me go check your water pressure, make sure I'm not putting this into abnormal circumstances. Now, if you don't have water pressure issues in your area, adjust to whatever your issues you typically have. Maybe it's age of plumbing. We did a whole episode on this a couple shows ago about diagnosing. But I'm going to say to that person, hey, look, let me take pressure. I find the water pressure issue at maybe 90 or 100 pounds of pressure, 120 pounds of pressure. I'm going to say you need a PRV. And I'm going to say to that person, hey, look, if you want to avoid this from happening again in the future, put a PRV on. That'll protect the other toilets. In fact, if you want, I could even give you an option to reset the clock on those so you don't have to deal with this at all. I'm talking to a V. It's true. It's accurate what I said. Didn't say it. I didn't manipulate the guy. I just spoke his language. Like, everyone's like, oh, not you guys, I'm sure, but most like, oh, that's persuade. Okay, well, if someone speaks Spanish, I'm going to speak in Spanish because that's their language. It's really not complicated. Bienvenidos a los Estados Unidos. Just wanted you guys to know. I know something. What's up, Joey? I probably just threw up a gang sign. I'm getting shot after this. Eyes. This is if you find out you're talking to an influencer. Here's the deal. If they're like, hey, come with me, it's right here. Don't talk, don't listen, don't do anything. I want you just to fix my toilet. That's probably a V. If they tell you 15 stories on the way to the toilet, that's probably an I. Here's what they listen for. Here's why customers love this. I'll tell you why people love the PRV. It's because it keeps them from having this problem again. Same thing, different language. This is going to make your life easier. You're going to feel great about this choice. Let me show you how this works. This is a smart move. Back to the V. What matters most? Speed, clear decision, results, efficiency, ROI. To the I, what matters most? Experience, excitement, trust, connection, and confidence. What turns the V off? What don't they like? Long explanations. It's funny, I'm a V, I, but in the home I'm an I, and then I hate myself. That's long explanations, over detail, emotional stories, indecisiveness. Let me get back to you. Sales tip. Lead with the solution and outcome. Keep it tight. Eyes. What matters most is experience, trust, connection, and confidence. And what turns them off is cold, robotic delivery, too many technical details, no enthusiasm, no personal engagement. They care. Neither one of those people care how that PRV works. Sales tip, be warm, be engaging, paint the picture, let them feel good about the decision. How many of you are picking up something right now? Let me know if you're picking up something right now. Here's what we're going to do. I got an event coming up March 21st and 22nd. This is for service plumbers to come and learn how to effectively run the call the way I run the call. We're going to be breaking this thing down to its max level. I'm going to be doing a bonus training on this at a much deeper level before the event even takes place. And then at the event, we're going to be applying that to how I run the call, role play, actually value stacking and building options and diagnosing and everything that I do in the home. By the time you leave out of that thing, you're basically going to be running calls just like me. And that's what I want to help you do. And we're doing it for $397 a seat. Probably raise your ticket average by double, maybe triple. If you pay attention, quadruple. I don't know. I'm saying some people are like, well, my ticket average is already high. What's that got you? So you saying you can't get better? Absolutely, we can make you better. And I can prove it. And then on top of that, we're going to do 3 seats for $997. A little sneak peek to how we're going to train you how to be in the home. But anyways, $997, 3 seats. And the owners can come for free if you buy 3 seats. Boom, value stack. Give them the deal. Give them the deal, folks. I think we have about 80 people already signed up. We're going to run out of room. We got maybe 20 to 30 seats left. I don't really know exactly, but we're running low. And we still got a couple months, another month. And I'm going to have to buy a building to put next to this building so I can sell more tickets. I like the value stacking of that price. Yeah. You see what I did, Josh? See what I did? I don't work late today. I helped the lady over with the busted pipe. She was so happy. She thanked you. Said it was a nice review. Would be great. Yeah, reviews are great. Reviews are great. He said, Martin says, that's a bundle. That's a bundle, baby. We call that the bundle, the busy bundle. I don't know. I was going to try to come up with something. I ain't going to come up with something. That's why I'm not a rapper. That's not the only reason I'm not a rapper, but that is one of the reasons. It's one of them. Joey, did you notice when the show ends and we play the outro music, that's your boy, that's your brother's beat right there. That's your boy, Roz Renee. Go check out Renee Cisneros, making beats, dropping hits. I just like saying that, Roz Renee. I love saying that. I don't know why. Okay. E's and B's, what are they listening for? Well, B's are listening for this is reliable. This will keep things stable. We'll take care of you. There's no pressure. This is safe, steady option. Meaning, like, if I'm starting to say, look, you got a lot going on right now. If you just want to deal with the toilet, that's fine. If you want to deal with the PRV at a later date, I'm going to leave you the information just so you have it available to you. Either way, I'll take care of you. There's no pressure. You can wait if you want. Well, actually, you have a ton of pressure in your home, but I'm not going to put pressure on you to reduce the pressure. Maybe you should buy this. I'm kidding. Busy bundle of buying. Fresh and Prime 47 is my Disney World. But we didn't drop some money up in there. Prime 47. I call that the comma meal. Every time I go there's a comma in the bill. Okay. Bees. This is reliable. This will keep things stable. What matters most? Security, trust, stable, long-term relationship, low drama. What turns them off? High-pressure tactics. Urgency that feels forced. Aggressive tone and sudden changes. They don't like that. You don't like a lot of whoa, the ocean's starting to pick up here. He said just common sense should never be pressure. Absolutely. You would think, Brandon, but some of these guys are in there like, maybe if I charge $7,000 for the 40-gallon water heater, then my guys will have to use closing tactics. Ease. They listen for here are the specs. Here's the process. Here's what to expect. This meets code. Here's what prevents failure. Let me show you in the details. Here's what matters most to them. Accuracy, proof, process, standards, risk reduction. What turns them off? Now, if I don't finish this point right here, if I just move on, that's what turns them off right there. They're like, okay, but what, Chris, don't, please, no, he's going to go on he's going to tell a story right now. No, I want to hear what turns the ease off? This, right now, what I'm doing. It's torture. You can use this for the wrong things too. Vague claims. I'm going to get into it. See, we're doing it now? Easier like, we're doing it? Vague claims, trust me. They hate trust me. Trust me. Trust me, bro. Missing details, sloppy explanations, hype without evidence. Here's the deal with the B, with the balanced person. Slow down, be patient, reassure them. With the exact person, the E's, bring facts, show documentation, be precise. Quick summary. V's by speed and results. I's by confidence and excitement. B's by safety and trust. E's by proof and precision. Look, next week, maybe not next week. Yeah, end of next week. I'll be in San Diego speaking at a big event talking about this very thing, the 3 things that everybody buys and what actually changes the 3 things that change buying habits. We've talked about that a little bit in this series, and we're kind of coming to a close. We're going to be shifting into marketing. If you're a salesperson, if you're a home service expert of any kind, man, you're going to want to hear this because marketing is really just sales taking place from a distance when you're not there, from the absence of you. Basically, it's this idea that you can build a relationship with your brand and draw interest to your solution without actually physically being there. So let's summarize this whole thing, how to cook in sales. We did a 6-part series. This is actually episode number 7. This was a bonus. We did a 6-part series, and we talked about the 3 ingredients on what is even involved in a sale taking place, and that was relationship diagnosing and value stacking. Then we broke down relationships, and we said you got to identify, connect, and engage some sort of memory or some sort of connection point, something that you have in common with them, a commonality. Then we moved into diagnosing. We said, what's broke? Why is it broke? What else is it connected to? And we showed that huge iceberg that talked about this idea that the customer can only see, and sometimes the plumber can only see the tunnel vision of just the toilet. But if you really unpack this thing, you can, just the tunnel vision. And then if you unpack this thing a little bit more, you realize, hey, wait, there's this thing sitting on an iceberg, and there's a problem that's bigger than what we can see, and that is water pressure, water condition, age of plumbing. It's the bigger part the system caused. And then we go, wait a minute, that toilet's not the only thing on this iceberg dealing with water pressure, water condition, age of plumbing. The whole house is on this. And the customer just can't see that because they don't want to, number one. Who wants to have more problems in their home? Nobody does. Nobody does. How do you balance? Ooh, that's a good one. How do you balance what they need now to fix immediate problems, even if they're 15 years old and just failing due to age, versus selling an old PRV that is still working? Yeah, great, Nick. So this is where options come in: repair, replace, upgrade. Another way of looking at that is today, tomorrow, and forever. How can I fix your problem for today? How can I fix it for tomorrow? How can I fix it for forever? So in your case right there, if I'm fixing the problem for today, I just need to deal with that toilet. If I want to fix the problem for tomorrow, probably want to deal with maybe a new toilet, and if I want to fix it for forever, it's probably a new toilet and a new PRV expansion tank, and water heater's probably 15 years old too. I'm not saying it is, but the odds are not forever in your favor, Katniss, on your water heater when your PRV and your expansion tank are super old. Can I get some laughy emojis on that one? That was the eye move right there. I dropped it in there. I slid it in. Katniss, Everdeen. I did the whole, I played. I'm explaining it to the E's right now, not everyone else. This is fun, right? You got to learn your people, okay? So let's do this. And you're going to have this tool. That's what's so cool. That's why I'm using the tool tonight. I'm actually using it. That's why I'm using. Okay, I'm all fan, on the internet, people all fan. How are they doing that? And then I dropped the phone because I'm an idiot. But I'm like, how can you tell right away who someone is? And you can do this too. And by the way, when you do this accelerator thing or this assessment, it's called the Vibe Check Internal Facilitator because I wanted to come up with something cool. And so then we moved it and it'll turn into a chat bot in your little left-hand side. For those that are familiar with ChatGPT, it'll become its own chat. You can go back up and restart a new one, but you can take the results from that and plug it into other chats. It's kind of cool, so you can start really bouncing around and it gets connected. But here's what you'll notice. You ready for this, guys? For how do you identify a V? Well, you'll notice immediately. They get to the point quickly. They interrupt long explanations. So if you want to find out you have a V at the front door, just knock on the door. When they open the door, say, hey, I'm Chris with Peach Plumbing in Atlanta. We started our business back in 1972 because our owner, and then if they cut you off, you got a V. If they let you keep going, you don't have a V. You're probably going to look like an idiot doing this. Don't do it. It was a joke. Don't do it. Don't do it. But it would help you find out if they're a V. Ask direct outcome questions. So let me ask you this. If I replace the water heater, what does that mean? What's going to happen? What am I going to get? If I replace the water heater, that's going to give me more. I'm going to be able to take showers. Body language is forward, decisive, little small talk, not much small talk. If you're in my program, you've ever been in a coaching session with me, you know I'm like, hey, how you doing? What's your name? Steve? Okay, great. So, Steve, here's what we're going to talk about today. 3 options. Here's what you really need to do. If I'm on the streets of Vegas with you and I disagree with your point, I'm going to argue. What they'll say early, what's the bottom line? How long will this take? What are my options? How much does it cost? What do you recommend? How they make decisions, fast. They'll choose and move. Your instant clue is, if they seem slightly impatient within 2 minutes, probably a V. I met Brandon for the first time in Vegas. We met outside of I think it was the Aria Casino Resort. Joey has a residency there or something. But anyways, Joey comes out. We're all out. We meet Brandon. Brandon's pacing, dudes, because everyone's saying their highs. And Brandon's like, whoa, it's taking too long. It's been 1 minute. It's my turn. I'm kidding. No, actually, Brandon's smooth in social circumstances. He slides right over the eye real quick. Comes a charmer. Slides over the eye real quick. Ask honest questions. They will overcome their own objections naturally. I love that. 100%. That's how I overcome objections. I agree that whatever they said, well, I don't want, that's expensive. It might be. So, okay, it might not be. But I agree that they think it's expensive. But I'm curious as to why they think it's expensive. So I'm going to start asking questions. You don't mind me asking where you got that price from? You mind me asking when the last time you had this, whatever. And I'm just asking more questions. He said, say the things that's uncomfortable. That's your style, Brandon. That's not, and he's not going to do that. Okay, B's. Sorry, eyes. I skipped right over the eyes. And I know you're like, what about me, though? Well, you'll notice immediately they smile easily. They talk with energy. They share stories. They ask about you. Did you find the place okay? Did you have any trouble down at the light? Hopefully you went the gate. Expressive tone and gestures. It's me. That's who they are at the front door. What they say early, oh, that reminds me. This is exciting. What do most people do? Tell me how this works. How they make decisions, emotion first, logic second. Instant clue. If the conversation feels lively and social right away and nothing like what you're supposed to be talking about, it's probably an I. If you ask them how old their toilet is and you're hearing a story about their kids graduating from college, probably an I. B's are balanced. What you'll notice immediately, calm tone, thoughtful pauses, nods and listens, asks clarifying questions, doesn't rush. They do not want to make a mistake. Actually, they don't care about making mistakes. They don't want to make a mistake that affects others. The E's don't want to make the mistake. The E's won't make the mistake. And if they're an EV, they'll deny they made the mistake. What they say early, I just want to make sure. What do you usually recommend? I need to think about it. I don't want any surprises. How they make decisions, slow and steady. Instant clue, if they're calm, agreeable, and not in a hurry, likely a B. If you're like giving speeches about how tankless is the greatest thing on earth, and they're like, they're a B and you didn't sell that. I know you're going to leave that. I was like, I think they're going to buy it. They're not. Yeah, really, that's expensive relative to what? Now, I don't say relative to what. I would say, well, do you mind me asking where you got that expectation? It's crazy. I never realized pretty much everybody you come across fits into one of the. Yeah, they do. And they're going to fit into these things. And by the way, I just want to be clear. These are just 4 little like identifiers, but they're not the sum all of who you are. So you might be an I might be an I, but we're still very different. In fact, if you really start breaking down who people are, you start taking what type of smart you are, the working genius, where you fit in an idea, where you fit in a group, how you fit in personality types, how you fit in under stress versus non-stress, how you fit in when you're doing your skill and gifting and your core gifting versus your non-gifting. Then you mix in working genius, and it's like what drains you, what doesn't drain you. Are you stressed and drained, and then how's your personality type fit into that? And all of a sudden, we become very unique and different. Character starts to play a role in this, integrity, and all those things. And so we become very different, but we have commonalities. And one of the reasons why I do this show is so we can learn more about our commonalities, make you better in the home to make the experience better, but maybe so we could all start getting along a little bit better in the world. He said, try it. Document the response. Brandon, I just think that you might want to, that works for you. You're comfortable saying that. Here's the thing. If I tell an E to go be like me in the home, they won't be comfortable, they won't be authentic, and the customer will see right through that. While Brandon can get away with that, someone else might not be able to. Or while I can get away with this, or while you can get away with something, I can't get away with that. And that's just a reality of the whole thing. All I keep seeing is he has lift in his shoes. That's all I can see over on YouTube. I keep going back to that comment. Okay. Ease. What you'll notice immediately, focused eye contact. No expression. They'll just be like, dude, are you one of those? Ask specific questions. What is the model number for this? And I would never. The I might be like, what, is this one of the newer models? Is this a fun model? A V would be like, is this the best model? And he would be like, what exactly is the model number? Wants numbers, specs, and process. Less emotional expression, analytical tone. What they'll say early, what's the warranty? What does that include exactly? How does this compare to? What's the failure rate? How they make decisions. After they understand the details, that's it. It's not fast, it's not slow. It's after they understand the details. Instant clue. If they drill into specifics likely right away, it's an E. If you knock on the door and they ask where you parked, task focus, V-E. People focus, I-B. Outgoing, V-I. Reserved, B-E. Figure out where you fit in. Figure out who you are. Use these to identify yourself, because the better you are at identifying yourself, you're going to get better at your weaknesses. I could type in here and plug in my personality profile, and I can ask it, what are my blind spots? What are my gaps? Where am I going to get better? I got 3 pages of notes. We're laughing with you, promise. No, I know, bro. I promise I know. I just like goofing. I'm a goof. I be goofing till I meet you. No, I'm playing. I'm not even big. Not even big. But if I was, bro, it'd be a whole different thing. I met a couple of VEs, LLL. Yeah, I bet. VEs, man, that's my arch nemesis right there. An EV is actually, I think, no, an EB. If they're all exact and that's nice. It's just my best friend, Robert. That'd be an EV for me. They don't talk and they're mean and direct. Or another VI, Brandon Graham. Well, how can Brandon Graham be my arch nemesis? I love to fight with him. He loves to fight with me. Joey likes to send us screenshots of our 500 messages going back and forth. When I'm not online going live, me and Brandon are going at it in the chats, in the texts. I got 35 of them right now waiting for me to get done with the show. Guys, look, it's a big deal. I mean, I don't know, like so many people dismiss this stuff, man. Service plumbing. Plumbing is just one word. Service is the other word. If you spend 4 years learning plumbing, probably more like 20, you should spend the same amount of time learning people. That's who you're dealing with. You're in their home, and it absolutely matters. And it's not about making money. It's not about making sales. It's about solving problems and communicating in a way the customer can understand what the bigger problem is. And as I was going through that diagnosing, then we lead into value stacking. You know, the diagnosing part where we build the relationship, then we have that huge iceberg of all that stuff on it. And we get into value stacking and creating irresistible offers. You know, option 1 is what they called me out there for. It's always going to be what they called me out there for. They're never going to like the price. I can't help that. It's never cheap enough. It's always too much. That it is what it is. And that's the first option. But I might be able to save them some money if they do a little bit more volume with me. Like if one shutoff's all you're going to do, it's going to be expensive. But if you're willing to do all your shutoffs, it's not going to be as expensive per shutoff. You're going to spend more than you were if you just do one, but you're going to get a better bang for your buck. And that's value stacking. And then that third option, you can create that forever solution and give them an irresistible offer, something that is worth it, something that goes from an expense to an investment, where you can actually show them how to get something for their money. If you go and clog a drain, you're basically a hostage negotiator, especially a kitchen sink. You're going to put the trap back together and leave, and everything is the same, but they're out $250, $350, $450. If I replace the garbage disposal, at least they get something for their money. I replace the garbage disposal, take out the ABS, put it in PVC. Maybe I swap out the 3 push-pull shutoffs, the hot and cold, and the one for the dishwasher. Maybe they multi-turn. Maybe there's some inferior product, or upgrade the main or something like that. And all of a sudden, now they're getting a little bit more for their money. Maybe I don't have to charge to run the drain machine. I can charge for all this other new stuff I found. And we start to value stack and create an offer and create a deal that's just too good to pass up on. And they either do it or they don't. And I'm good either way. Let the cards fall, they fall. I was just meeting with Ryan today. Ryan's a new guy in our program. He's a one man in the truck right now. He just hired his first CSR. He's growing his company. We work from everything from, you know, you're doing $20 million a year and you want to improve your team and you want to change your mindset and turn your company into more service related. I can help you. If you're you're back in the truck still and you're just doing it by yourself, I can help you get out of the truck. Either way, we help people grow. We help them get better, and we give them all the processes to get these results. But this man is averaging 147 for 47 on the last 47 calls he went on. And he's averaging $1,500 and something a call. He's crushing it, absolutely crushing it. And he's definitely not a salesman. You get that rush excitement from killing it. Absolutely. It feels good to win for people. You got to know how to make that human connection, Robert. 100%. Personality types are super important. Never realized I was profiling customers, but it's become imperative to my customer appreciation. The little details matter. I do want to get better at upgrading my ticket charges, but I don't want to be selling something they don't need at the moment to fix a problem, and I get rejected trying to upsell the upgrades. Look, man, Nick, go put that back up there. I didn't get a chance to see the name real quick. Nick, let me just tell you right now, all I can tell you is that there's a wrong way and a right way to go into someone's home. And if you do it the right way, they're not actually afraid to spend money, and they don't know about all their problems. In fact, let me end it with this tonight. Let me give you this little gem. Make sure you guys are coming to that event. I'm going to be in the room. I'm going to have a guy in the room that sold $1.2 million of plumbing in this program in a truck, doing the thing, running the options, doing the plumbing, doing it all. He did $1.2 million in a singular year, absolutely crushed it. And he's going to be in the room. I'm going to have a couple of my guys in the room also from Peach Plumbing. And we may or may not, I believe, I don't want to speak for him, but I believe Costa's going to be in that room as well. And he did $4 million over the phone 4 years in a row working for me. Absolute beast, crusher, killer. Make sure you guys come to that thing. You got to come to that thing. But let me end it with this. Personality profiles and all this stuff. When you go into people's homes, yeah, it's not your choice to know that they didn't need it. Yeah, it's not a choice. Because you're the expert. You're the only expert that's going to go in that home for 1 to 2 years. And this kind of perfect segue to my final point. So take my phone for example. I met with One Tom Plumber in Austin today. I told you guys I had a morning training this morning with a local company down there, and we were talking. I'm not there, Brandon. Brandon's like, why didn't you come by? Like, I'm in Indiana, but I was talking to him about this, and I saw this happen on stage. Russell Brunson. If you want to learn about the irresistible offer, go look Tony Robbins, Russell Brunson. They all teach on it. It's applicable. Merchandising happens in stores all across the world. Every time you go shop, this is happening. It's called value stacking, but it's really this idea of an irresistible offer. So he says, look, I got this phone. I could sell this phone. Well, it's Russell Brunson and Tony Robbins. When they do this, is like, oh, I bet that phone's got some contacts on it. So when I tried that, I was like, who would want my phone? They're like, well, it's broke. It's got a chip in it. And I'm like, yeah, but I got some pretty important contacts. They're like, not that many. I'm like, yeah, you're probably right. Okay, never mind. But those guys have some big ones, right? No, in all seriousness, I've got this phone for $1,500. And if you knew who was in this phone, you knew who could connect this phone. I mean, just take Joey Cisneros for an example. The guy owns a business out of Southern California. He started up in the high desert, Hesperia, California. And I think, he got up to about 12 trucks, Joe. You can correct me whenever you want to correct me, but you got up there maybe a couple million, 5 million, 6 million. And then you went into the valley, down the hill, and you blew up and you got huge. And I've watched you grow. It's been amazing. And I've got your number in my phone. I could call you. I know you'll answer. I could call you right now. You'd probably answer. And I could text you. And if someone got a hold of my phone and called you, you'd answer the first time. Maybe not after that. You'd answer the first time. And you're a nice dude. They could probably drill you with some questions, and you'd probably give them some trade secrets. Joey, put a yes in the comments if that's accurate. If someone had my phone and they called you, you would think it was me. You would. Someone's going to call it. I'm waiting for Brandon. I'm waiting. Anyways, Joey, if you saw this, you would answer my phone call. Is that correct? And if it was someone else, you would be stuck on the phone with them, but you would answer their questions. Is that fair? Drop me a yes in the comments. And I got a lot more numbers and names, a lot more contacts, a lot more. So all of a sudden, this phone maybe has a little more value, but then I flip it around, and I say, look, it's got my wallet attached to this phone too. It's not just a phone. Oh, it's not just a phone. There's a wallet in there, and that wallet's got a credit card or two. I think this one's got my American. Yeah, this one's got my business credit card. I don't know if they can see that. I show all my stuff on the internet. What's happening right now? Cancel all my cards. We're done. Anyways, I got an American Express card in there too. He would get the person's number. Yeah, Joey would. Joey would get the person's number and then try to call him back and be like, hey, we got disconnected. I want to help you some more. Because he's a good dude. Okay, so what's the point? Well, here's the thing. You don't know the value unless I tell you. See, here's the deal. Separate point I want to make. This phone right here is being sold by Apple. Apple, that's who makes it, right? Apple. But it's also being sold by Verizon, AT&T, Sprint, who's all the T-Mobile, Cricket. Nah, they ain't got this on Cricket. I'm just joking. They might, maybe. Boost Mobile, those are droids. Those are all droids. Okay, I'm joking. Enough jokes. Okay. Now Best Buy sells it too. Best Buy, Target, Walmart. So you got 3 different industries. You got a phone maker, you got a cell service provider, and then you got a retailer, all 3 advertising the Apple phone. What do you think the odds are that somebody's heard about the Apple phone by now? I can't get this credit card back in. I always want to hide it in my pocket right now. It works, too. That credit card works. Jeff said, I think somebody stole it. Brandon said your phone gets stolen. That's the only time, dude. That phone is still being tracked back to the apartment complex. Everybody's like, that's a crazy Vegas trip. Vegas trip? Vegas trips. Like, I think I was a resident in Vegas for a minute. A lot of people offering this. And then you can start talking about these guys. And, oh, gosh, what about these? And then what about the MacBook? And then what about the iPad? And you keep going down the list. You're like, dang, people are highly educated. When's the last time you saw a water softener commercial on TV? When's the last time you saw a PRV commercial where you saw someone running a 50-second ad on the commercial breaking down high water pressure? One of the worst things I hear is when a technician's like, well, that's all they wanted. Of course, that's all they knew about. That's all they knew about. Look, stop hiding behind the customer's lack of knowledge. You're the expert. You're the expert. Understand the people, understand the plumbing, understand the root causes. Educate your customers so they understand the root causes. And all of a sudden, sales, well, that's no longer the situation. Now they're trying to buy. And that's a whole different game. When you're in that scenario, then they lead you through the home because they want. How many times have you had somebody after you fix something say, hey, do you know anyone that fixes these or anyone that works on that? And it ends up being plumbing. And you're like, well, I do. Or they ask you something non-plumbing related because they got trust. They believe you now. Now they're going to show you the real problems. They ain't showing you all the problems up front because they are afraid of you. They're afraid you're going to try to sell them, scam them, get them, rip them, whatever it is. And you got to make sure that you go in there and let them know, like, hey, I know I work for a company, but I shop at the same grocery stores as you. I live in the same community as you. I understand your plumbing better than you. I want to help you understand your plumbing. And when you do, you'll see the same things I see. Then it just comes down to budget. Do they have the money or not? And that's up to them. And I give them 3 options. I give them the first option, what they called me out here for, so they don't have to spend a bunch of money if they don't want to. And I give them the forever solutions. And I let them choose what they want. And I don't start with the highest one first. And I don't shock them. I don't shake them. I don't tell them the magic phrase that gets them to buy. I'm just a decent human in the home, and you can be too. And just be yourself. Understand who you are. Understand your weaknesses and gaps. Understand who you're talking to, and fill those weaknesses and gaps with the right language. And everything goes a whole lot smoother in the home. Make sure you come to our event. I cannot wait to see and meet you personally. Now I'm going to drop this one little doozy on you. We're going to put in the comment section the link to this chat bot. Do we have it, Tyler? Do you have it? Okay, give the show about 2 minutes and we'll drop it in there. I love you guys. Remember, as always, email us if you want those tickets. If you want more information about our program, if you want to change your company into a fine dining restaurant and no longer a fast food restaurant, meaning we're going to show you how to do quality over quantity. If you want to raise your ticket averages, increase your gross profit margins, and just absolutely dominate with a positive relationship with your community where your reputation supersedes you as someone that is a professional and expert, and you're not afraid to offer people solutions, then reach out to us, info@theplumbing sales coach. I love you, and as always, remember, serve your community and everything, not just plumbing. Have a great night, everyone.
Fresh.
If you want more tips about marketing, sales, and business, type subscribe in the comments and get alerts about future shows. Also, check out our podcast on Spotify, Apple, and other major platforms. Thanks again for watching The Fresh Approach.
Fresh.